for firefighters, and we saw just in the past, 20 minutes where things kind of ramped up and they got boots on the ground surrounding those homes, and that's what they call, structure protection. They want to protect those homes and make sure those flames don't reach the roofs or the backyards of those homes. Michael?
So obviously they are involved in structure protection in that area, and you said there are a row of homes just adjacent to you. Does it look like most of the people in the area have listened to the evacuation orders and they're out of there?
It appears that way. It appears that most folks took this very seriously and left. Like I said, when we were coming up here, LAPD was on their loudspeaker telling everyone to leave, and there was a line of cars that was going down Mountain View Drive, which was good. But, you still have some residents here who are watching and waiting, trying to see exactly how quickly this is moving. But it appears the homes have been evacuated. Again, the power has been cut. All of that neighborhood down there where you see the fire activity, where you see the fire engine, those homes are dark. And it appears that the firefighters are able to get into the backyards and do what they need to do without worrying about the people who live there because they have been evacuated. So that is the good news. It appears that most folks in this neighborhood did pack up and leave and had been ready to leave just in case.
We look at this picture here, and Ileana said it looked like they had made a significant amount of progress in the past hour or so. Unless you're sitting in this neighborhood and you're looking out your window and you're seeing this has to be terrifying.
It is terrifying. I mean, I look at some of those flames that are coming over that ridge. We have watched this come down the ridge, and it kept coming and it kept coming. And even with the amount of water drops that were put on this fire, it is still burning pretty good right now. So much brush in these canyons that it's eating through. Take a look at those flames, how big they are right now. So it is pretty scary, which is why you have a lot of residents who are where we are watching, hoping that it somehow stops before it gets to this side. So it is pretty scary for the folks who are here and are watching and seeing it so close to the homes. That one home is right up against there. So we're really hoping that these aerial assaults continue and they are able to get a handle on this because it's slowly moving down the hill, but it is moving.
Yeah, and the importance of that unified command, that mutual aid that we talk about. Yeah. I don't know if you picked up on it, Colleen, but that fire rig there is from Riverside County. So again, that's just an example. They're in that driveway for structure protection as they continue to make those aerial drops.
You have good eyes there, Michael.
I don't know how I saw it, but I saw it. All right, Darcia Phillips, live for us there in Mountain Gate. We want to now switch gears and head on over to NBC4's Mason Jenkins. She's live with people evacuating from Encino. Hey, Mason.
Hi, Michael and Colleen. Well, listen, the sense of relief here cannot be overstated in Encino after a few hours ago getting that alert, getting the knocks on the door saying, hey, you've got to go, you've got to evacuate because of the orange glow that we were seeing over the ridgeline. I'm going to have my photographer just show you a little bit of what we're seeing. We saw way more orange, way more smoke a few hours ago, and now you can see that they are clearly getting a handle on this with all of the water drops and the dozer lines that the firefighters said they had created earlier. I want to let you listen to something, an interview I did earlier to this evening with a gentleman named Jonathan Sands. He says he was on his roof trying to wet it down when an officer came by and said, what's your address? Do you belong here? And if this is your home, you've got to go. Take a listen. Talk to me about at what point you said, I think I might need to pack up and go.
About an hour and a half ago, I started, the flames were ripping through this mountain and the wind direction was blowing this way. We had like 30-mile-an-hour gusts. So from there, I packed up. Called my friends. They picked up my cars. Well, I have one car left in the driveway right now, ready to go, but it subsided. So I'm staying. I think this fire is actually they're doing a great job, the firefighters. When it flares up, there's choppers everywhere doing dumps.
Yeah. When we got here an hour and a half ago, the sky was a lot more orange,
Yes.
and you could see a lot more smoke.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think you were saying you were watching us.
Yeah, that's when that's when everybody was, I was watching the TV and I came outside to look at it and everybody was leaving the neighborhood. Then it gave everybody a good scare. It really did. They panicked a little. Well, I heard a lot of horn honking and stuff as people were leaving. A lot of the elderly people have left. There's not too many people in the neighborhood. They're calling me now. I'm checking on their homes for security too. We have a security watch in the neighborhood, so don't come up here. And I think they're checking. I don't think they're allowing people in the neighborhood now.
Right. And that's part of why the National Guard came, to assist local agencies with having checkpoints and making sure there aren't looters. When you think about people taking advantage of your neighborhood when you evacuate, how does that make you feel?
Let's just talk about it. It's been nonstop for the last couple of years of people taking advantage. So people are really on guard. I think neighbors are watching neighbors now. I think there's more community. When catastrophes happen, people pull together.
And what he said to me at the end of that interview is that he does not plan to leave tonight. He says he was ready, but he's here and he's watching out for his neighbors' houses. Many of them are elderly and they've decided to go. He says, I'm going to be here. I'm going to be able to be your point of contact, your eyes and ears to check on your home. The good news is it looks like they are getting a hold on that fire. And I have to tell you, Michael and Colleen, a few moments ago, there was a family that we interviewed about 3 hours ago. They lived on the other side of the ridge. They were very worried. They came to this lookout point and they said, we came back because we saw the interview, we saw all of your coverage, and we're so relieved that we can go back home. Now, I'm not sure if their evacuation order has been lifted, but they feel a sense of relief that their home is going to be okay. That's the latest. I'll send it back to you.
I believe a lot of people would if they were at your spot right now. What about the neighborhood you're in? Is that still under mandatory evacuation orders?
Well, this area is, I think they have to get a hold of the fire. They have to get a concrete containment percentage or line before they will lift the orders. Many times they'll have the mandatory go down to an evacuation warning, but it's 11:30 at night. It's unlikely that people who have already evacuated, who have already made plans to go stay with family elsewhere, are going to say, okay, I'm going to come back now. So whether or not it goes from mandatory to a warning, I'm sure many of the people who are elderly are not going to come back to the neighborhood tonight.
All right, Macy Jenkins live for us in Encino. And as we continue to cover this unprecedented fire, our series of fires, we have a team of reporters from all across